They're assumptions.
So we don't know these things.
Yeah, you can't know them.
Okay, there we go.
Right. So do you actually make these three assumptions, though?
I don't assume them, no. I base my life on them because I have a foundation that can do that.
How did you actually establish that the universe exists without assuming it?
It's real easy, actually. I could teach you how to do it real fast. It's actually really simple. Can I teach you how to do that real fast?
Just cut to the chase.
Cut to the chase? Here's the chase. Would you agree that if we don't have all knowledge, we could be wrong? You've already said, yes, we could be wrong.
No. You've assumed that there's such a thing as knowledge. You've assumed that there's such a thing as existence. You've made all of these assumptions, right? To get to your worldview, you've made a horde of assumptions that are completely unfounded.
But I'm telling you, they are founded, and I'm trying to explain why here, but okay, so your worldview says it's possible we don't exist, we have to assume the universe, we have to assume reality, and we have to assume that we can learn things, correct?
You were telling me about your worldview?
Right, I'm making sure I'm clarifying your position.
Mine's irrelevant. We're talking about your worldview. Right. How do you know that the universe exists? You just said you know all of this because you have some foundation or something.
No, I would actually argue that everybody here knows this, and it's actually easy to point that out. Here's how I could point that out. If I, Thunderfoot, Eric Hovind, if I had all the knowledge in the universe...
You failed already. Eric Hovind, how did you establish that Eric Hovind exists?
Again, I'm not going based on your reality. You're the one who says that's not a possibility. I'm showing you that this is how I can know it. I'm trying to demonstrate that to you.
You've assumed that you exist.
No, I have a reason to believe that I exist.
A reason.
That's what I'm getting to.
This is a model of reality. You're making all of the assumptions that I said you made. Your religion is exactly, you start with the three basal assumptions that I start with, and then you just tag this completely redundant vestigial appendage on the end, which you call religion. It is a model with no predictive capability.
Now, I disagree, obviously, and that's what I'm trying to get to. If reality exists, and we go on the assumptions, if I had all knowledge and I wasn't allowed to lie, and I told you something, could you trust it? Could you believe it?
Just cut to the chase.
Right, if I had all knowledge, so that means I know everything, and I wasn't allowed to lie, and I told Thunderfoot something, Thunderfoot 2 + 2 = 4, could you trust that to be absolutely true?
So you just
right. So you could trust it or you couldn't trust it.
Just get to the point. You don't need my opinion to tell me what you believe.
I'm asking if you could trust it.
You don't need my opinion to tell me what you believe.
Okay. If I had all knowledge and I was not allowed to lie and I told you something, you could be absolutely certain of it.
We've covered this. We've covered this
without that,
at least 4 times.
Without that, there is no such thing as certainty.
I think we've covered this as well. That's why you need 3 basal assumptions.
But you're not even certain of that. You have no certainty.
That's why they're called assumptions. Look, how many times do I have to explain this to you?
Right. And I'm saying you're going based on the assumption that your reasoning about the universe is valid, that your senses are valid. You got these assumptions, and they go back to a circular argument. How do you reason that your reasoning is valid? You reason about it.
This is because you need the 3 basal assumptions. Until you've actually established that you can learn something about the universe, the word reason has no concept. It's a way of actually establishing truths about reality. Now, like I say, you actually make these 3 assumptions that I make. You have exactly the same bias, the same human bias that I do. In this brain, you assume that the universe exists, you assume you can learn something about it, you assume that models with predictive capability are more useful than ones without. And yet, you then put this completely redundant vestigial organ on top of it, which is religion. It has 0 predictive capability, which is why we actually all of the stuff that is around us in this modern civilization was made by scientists, not by theologians.
Again, we disagree on that. I believe all branches of science, but let's not go down that road. Hang on. What I'm saying, of the 3 assumptions...
No, you brought this up 3 times now.
You're the one who keeps bringing it up. I'm just responding to it.
Scientific advance that was made by not by Christianity, that was made on theological grounds.
Of the 3 assumptions, what I'm doing is I'm saying there is a foundation for these assumptions. Without God, we can't even have knowledge. Without God, we can't know anything. All of us have knowledge.
We've covered this.
Right. So all of us have knowledge.
In order to establish there is such a thing as knowledge, you first have to assume that the universe exists. These are the three assumptions that I said that you have to make. And
in an atheist worldview, we can't even assume that.
Well, that's why they're called assumptions.
I'm saying in an atheist worldview, you couldn't even think. You couldn't. That this is, our brain would be doing chemical reactions, not, Our
brain is doing chemical reactions.
So are chemical reactions true or false?
Again,
are chemical reactions true or false?
We have models of reality.
Are chemical reactions true or false, Thunderfoot?
It's a malformed question.
You can't tell me if chemical reactions are true or false?
No, because the question, true or false, there is a model of utility about reality that involves things like chemistry, shuffling around of quantum states.
So are chemical reactions true or false?
Do chemical reactions happen? Yeah, that seems to be a fairly robust.
But they're not true or false, are they?
No, this is
exactly. So is what's going on in my brain, the chemical reactions going on in my brain, are they false? Because I am thinking my chemical reactions are telling me God exists. Is that false?
You are deploying a defective form of reasoning.
No, you're saying that the things going on in my brain are chemical reactions, and chemical reactions are neither true nor false, and then you're going to tell me that what I believe...
Chemical reactions are true or false.
I said they're not true or false.
There is a model called chemistry that actually defines how things stick together, and it also, the potassium gradients in the brain. It defines how your neurons fire, and that defines how you think.
So there's no such thing as a true or false thinking, because they're just chemical reactions. I can understand your frustration, because you just told me chemical reactions are neither true nor false.
Let me ask you a question.
Is what's going on in my brain a chemical reaction?
Is pink true or false?
Neither one.
Exactly.
Right.
Your question doesn't make any sense, right? Chemistry is a model that we actually use to, I don't know, make nice coats, make microphones, all that sort of thing.
So I say God exists. Is that true or false?
It's a model without predictive capability. Chemistry is a model with predictive capability, right? You understand that there are two categories: things that have predictive capability and things that don't. Your God and all religion falls into the latter category.
I disagree, obviously, and that's why we're talking.
In which case, give me something that you can robustly predict from your religion.
Oh man, we can predict lots of stuff, but I'm not going there yet.
Yes.
What you just said is what goes on in my brain is a chemical reaction.
Yes.
Chemical reactions are neither true nor false. Right? You don't apply true or false to chemical reactions, is that correct? You don't even apply that, do you?
No.
Okay,
right?
so you don't apply true and false to chemical reactions.
Science doesn't go into true or false. It goes into, does this model have predictive capability? If it does, it's robust. If it's really robust, we call it a theory. Theories are things with predictive...
You mean if things do happen according to the chemical reactions, and I predict it, I can say that's a true prediction?
It's a robust prediction. We don't do things like true and false because observations can be inaccurate.
Is that true?
Yes.
You just said you don't deal in things that are true or false, and you said that's true.
Okay, minor slip of the tongue. They seem to be remarkably robust.
No, it's an inconsistent theology is the problem.